Hello friends, today's topic is about jaundice. Jaundice means simple yellowish discoloration of skin, sclera and conjunctiva due to increased level of bilirubin more than 2 mg per deciliter. Now, to understand jaundice, you have to know about the bilirubin metabolism. So just overview of that bilirubin metabolism that we will look. So simple, this bilirubin is formed from the heme catabolism. Now this heme is generated from the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is predominantly present in red blood cell. So after 120 days, these red blood cells are normally destroyed, and that is physiological destruction. So after 120 days, it will be destroyed, and that destruction will occur in a reticuloendothelial cell, which are particularly present in liver, spleen and bone marrow. If it is in the liver, then there is no problem because further process is occurring inside the liver. But from the spleen and bone marrow, this unconjugated bilirubin, which is generated initially from the heme catabolism, that need to be transported up to the liver, and that transportation will occur with the help of albumin. One molecule of albumin that is attached with the two molecule of bilirubin, and finally with the help of albumin this unconjugated bilirubin will enter inside the liver. Now in the liver that conjugation process will occur, so finally this bilirubin will convert into the conjugated bilirubin. Now this conjugated bilirubin with active process secreted into the bile duct, and from the bile duct it will enter inside the gallbladder, and from the gallbladder it will be go inside the intestine. Now inside the intestine again some deconjugation process will occur, and finally urobilinogen, stercobilinogen and mesobilinogen is generated, and they all will be excreted respectively in feces and urine from stercobilinogen and urobilinogen. So that is simple metabolism about the bilirubin. Now why it is important? Because to understand jaundice, it is also divided in a three category, or simply to treat this clinically jaundice, it is also divided in a three variety. So it is called prehepatic, hepatic and posthepatic. Hepatic means liver. Now liver is the center part of this bilirubin metabolism. So any problem above the liver, so above liver means up to red blood cell destruction to the entering of this unconjugated bilirubin in the inside the liver. If any problem in this situation or this biochemical reaction, then it is called a prehepatic situation, and it is also considered a hemolytic because it is mostly related with the excessive red blood cell destruction. Now second type of jaundice is considered a hepatic variety of the jaundice. Here basic defect is related with the conjugation process inside the liver, so it is called a hepatic or hepatocellular type of jaundice. Now third variety of jaundice is called a post-hepatic, means once that conjugated bilirubin is generated, but that is not able to excrete out in this urine and feces, and due to it is occurring mostly obstruction, so it is also called a obstructive type of the jaundice. So that is post-hepatic jaundice. So simple, liver is the center point, so it is called a prehepatic, hepatic and post-hepatic, as well as due to depending on the cause, it is also considered hemolytic, hepatocellular and obstructive type of the jaundice. Now further one by one each type of jaundice that we will look. So first about hemolytic jaundice. So in hemolytic jaundice, it is also predominantly seen in some cases of the newborn, and in this newborn the most common cause that is Rh incompatibility. So in Rh incompatibility what happened, basically fetus is Rh positive and mother is Rh negative. In that case this Rh incompatibility of maternal and fetal blood group is observed, and in this situation what happened, first child is often escaped, but during delivery of this first child what happens, some of this Rh positive of this child that is entering in the mother. So when this Rh positive particular blood group that is entering inside the mother, some antibody is generated in the mother's blood, and that antibody which are initially IgM variety and later on IgG variety which can cross the placenta, and this antibody when second time pregnancy is there, and that will enter inside the fetus, and that will start destroying the fetal red blood cell even before birth, and that is seen in a second pregnancy because of that Rh antibody. So in severe condition this will lead to it is also called as the erythroblastosis fetalis because there is a destruction of the fetal red blood cell is seen. So that important point of this hemolytic jaundice in relation to newborn that you have to keep in mind. Now next, in this hemolytic jaundice particularly in adults, so in adults also seen in increased rate of hemolysis. So after 120 days that is normal rate of hemolysis, but due to some pathological condition or some disease, that excessive destruction that is leading to the hemolytic jaundice in adult. So here particularly unconjugated bilirubin level is increasing in the blood, and absence of bilirubinuria. Bilirubinuria means appearance of bilirubin in the urine, that will possible only if there is a conjugated bilirubin is there, but here unconjugated bilirubin, so it will not appear in the urine, so absence of the bilirubinuria. But what happened, this unconjugated bilirubin which is excessively produced, and that all unconjugated bilirubin will be taken up by the liver, because liver has a tremendous capacity to absorb all this bilirubin, and from that conjugated bilirubin and large number of urobilinogen and stercobilinogen is generated, and that all is appearing in the urine and feces. So excessive excretion of urobilinogen and stercobilinogen is seen, and most common causes are the congenital spherocytosis, means abnormal shape of the red blood cell. So if RBC have a biconcave shape, but if there is an abnormal shape is there, then it will be detected by the reticuloendothelial cell, and it will be destroyed in the RE system. Same way, G6PD deficiency, means glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. It is an important enzyme for the generation of the NADPH, and this NADPH is required to damage these antioxidant. It is working as an antioxidant, so any free radical damage that will be reduced. But if there is a deficiency of this enzyme, that will lead to the excessive damage of the free radical, and excessive hemolysis is appear, and that is also leading to the hemolytic jaundice. Same as a autoimmune hemolytic anemia, here that some immune system is affecting, working against the red blood cell, and that is leading to the hemolytic anemia, and that is also creating hemolytic jaundice. Same, some toxin which can lead to the destruction of red blood cell like carbon tetrachloride, and that is also leading to the hemolytic jaundice. Same way, mismatch blood transfusion, here same picture as a RH incompatibility but in the adult. Same again, that hemoglobinopathy like red blood sickle cell anemia as well as particular thalassemia, that is also creating some abnormal shape, and that will be detected by RE cells, and that will be destroyed. So that all situation can lead to the hemolytic jaundice. Most important thing that you have to keep in mind, it is leading to the increased level of unconjugated bilirubin in the blood, and that will not lead to the bilirubin urea. Now, second important type of jaundice, that is hepatocellular jaundice. Now, in hepatocellular, basic defect inside the liver, and the main common or most common cause of this hepatocellular jaundice, that is viral hepatitis. It may be hepatitis A, B, C or E. So that can lead to the damage of the liver cells, and that is leading to the affection of the conjugation process of the bilirubin. So in pure hepatic condition, conjugation in liver is decreased, and that will lead to the, hence free bilirubin level is increased, means unconjugated bilirubin level will be increased in the circulation. Further, this hepatic inflammation or damage of the liver cell, sometimes there is a inflammatory condition will occur, and that can compress the intracellular canaliculi at the site of bile formation, and that bile formation site is obstructed, and that is also further leading to the excretion affecting the excretion of this particular conjugated bilirubin. So initially in hepatocellular jaundice, that unconjugated bilirubin level is increasing, but later on due to obstruction inside the liver, that can lead to the further increase of the conjugated bilirubin. So when conjugated bilirubin level is also increasing in this hepatocellular jaundice, it is called a mixed type of jaundice. And in this mixed type of jaundice, due to increased level of this conjugated bilirubin, that bilirubin urea will also seen. So you have to remember that the main difference between hemolytic and hepatocellular, in hemolytic predominantly unconjugated bilirubin, in hepatocellular both the bilirubin level is increasing, means conjugated as well as unconjugated. Now third important type of jaundice, that is obstructive jaundice. So we have seen that some obstruction from this gallbladder up to the intestine, so conjugated bilirubin is increased in the blood, and that will excreted in the urine. So because this conjugated bilirubin, that is water soluble, and that can be excreted out in the urine. So here you have to remember bilirubin is excreted out, but oppositely what happen, urobilinogen, that will be absent in complete obstruction, because in obstruction what happen, this conjugated bilirubin is not entering in the intestine. In the intestine, this urobilinogen is generated. So basically conjugated bilirubin, that is appear in the urine, but urobilinogen, that is totally absent in a complete obstruction of this obstructive type of jaundice. So in total obstruction of biliary tree, the bile does not enter inside the intestine. So finally this urobilinogen will not generated, and that will be completely absent. So since pigments like urobilinogen, stercobilinogen are not entering, particularly this bilirubin is not entering, so ultimately urobilinogen and stercobilinogen are not generating, and they will not entering in the gut, and that will lead to the particular clay color of the feces. So that is particular signature or pathognomonic sign of this obstructive jaundice. So if any patient or any person is saying that my stool color is just like a clay color, then you have to keep in mind it is a mostly suggestive of the obstructive jaundice. So it is a typical feature of the obstructive jaundice, simple that these pigment are not present in the feces and that is creating clay color of the stool. So reappearance of this urobilinogen in the urine, that is a sign of recovery in a obstructive jaundice. Suppose that a patient of obstructive jaundice treatment is going on and obstruction is removing, then what happen? This urobilinogen will start to appear in the urine. So that is important sign of the recovery from the obstructive jaundice. Same way, this bilirubin level, bilirubin is nothing but conjugated bilirubin that is attached over the albumin, and that level will also increase in this obstructive jaundice. Now which are the causes of this obstructive jaundice that you have to keep in mind? So it is divided in a two category, intrahepatic as well as extrahepatic. Intra means inside the liver, cholestasis means bile stagnation, and it is mostly seen in a chronic active hepatitis, biliary cirrhosis, lymphoma, and primary carcinoma of the liver. So in this condition, what happens? This basically obstruction is occurring, but that is seen inside the liver. Further, obstructive stage of the viral hepatitis, in excessive or longer duration of viral hepatitis, there is obstruction will be there, and that is called the obstructive stage of the viral hepatitis. Same way, BRIC, that is benign recurrent intrahepatic cholestasis. IC means intrahepatic cholestasis. Same way, progressive familial intrahepatic cholestasis. These are the main common causes of the intrahepatic cholestasis. Same way, extrahepatic cholestasis means outside of the liver, but due to some compression, this cholestasis or bile obstruction is seen, that is cholestasis. Means stones in the biliary tract called the gallbladder stone. Same way, carcinoma of head of pancreas. So in anatomy you can look over that particular head of pancreas that is just nearby to this gallbladder, and if there is a carcinoma, that will compress this biliary tract. Same way, enlarged lymph node in a porta-hepatitis, that is also leading to the compression over this gallbladder and biliary canaliculi, and that can also lead to the extrahepatic cholestasis or obstructive type of the jaundice. So these are the most common causes of these three important type of jaundice, that is hemolytic, hepatocellular, and obstructive type of jaundice, and their important causes.